大家好，我姓龚，叫龚理查。Hello everybody, I'm Richard Gong of Work to Live podcast version. So this time, 这次我关于中国政治和中国政治与中华民族的社会也中华民族的社会与台湾的问题说话。Anyway, so as always, my Chinese is broken. So this time, actually, I have got the stuff to do. So which is why, this time I'm not thinking of digressing so for a long time. So anyway, so how should I say? I'm thinking of creating a. I'm not thinking of creating a brief episode, but actually, this time, let me tell you the title and the conclusion of this episode. The title is Why the war was going to happen in 10 some years in East Asia, and the conclusion is because President Xi would like to incorporate Taiwan into the mainland China during the period when he is the incumbent president. And first of all, I don't know whether who President Xi is, and so the full name of that president is Xi Jinping. So Xi Jinping, which is his full name, or which is the full name of President Xi, and to start with, the Chinese name of the position of the president of the mainland China is Guo Jiaqu Xi. Guo Jiaqu Xi is president of the mainland China. So why I can say is because as I told you, so this time the conclusion is the reason why the war is going to happen in 10 some years in East Asia. So this comes from, which is why I told you. So I'm going to talk about Chinese government and Chinese politics and the culture of Chinese people, and so the last was the third part is Taiwan, the problem of Taiwan. And anyway, so not Taiwan, or to start with, this problem, or that imminent war stems from, or that imminent war partly stems from a culture of China, which means what I'd like to tell you is that Chinese people find 面子 really important, and what 面子 is how they look to other people. Of course it's really difficult to summarize the general features of Chinese people, but actually some of course there are some Chinese people who do not care of how they look to other people, but actually as a whole, or in general, Chinese people are likely to be concerned about how they look to other people. So which means they would, Chinese people as a whole, or in general, would like to look cool to other people, or Chinese people want other people to find themselves cool, which is the point, or which is the gist of Mianzi, or how they look to other people. So thinking about which telling you why Taiwan, well, not telling you why Taiwan, so telling you why a war or wars are going to happen in Taiwan, or between Taiwan and the mainland China is related to such a Chinese not character, but Chinese culture. So of course, as I told you that Chinese culture doesn't account for all the reasons of the causes of that imminent war or imminent wars. Because of course there are many branches, or there are there are many types of, or there are many categories of reasons. So, based on which the mainland China wants to incorporate Taiwan into the politics of mainland China, and Mr. Xi Jinping would like to finish such an incorporation, finish how should I say, finish the whole process to incorporate Taiwan into its territory. During the time of his tenure, during the time until the end of the tenure of Mr. or the President Xi Jinping, he wants to take Taiwan take the government of Taiwan into the government of the mainland China, which is what the President Xi would like to accomplish, which is what I'm telling you. Also, for example, thinking about all the merits of the mainland China, or thinking about the merits or the advantages the mainland China can obtain by incorporating or conquering Taiwanese territory. So, for example, one of such merits is that the mainland China get some path or get some access to the Pacific Ocean, which means the mainland China, if the mainland China can successfully conquer the territory of Taiwan, so the mainland China grows, or the mainland China becomes the mainland China is going to become able to exert its huge influence to the territories, or to the territories of other countries, which means so as you know, the mainland China is really huge, and I'm sorry for my clumsy manner of speaking English language. That is because I'm a non-native speaker of English language. But actually, I don't know whether you can understand it. So to understand what I have just explained. I told you an advantage the mainland China get by its incorporating, or by its conquering Taiwanese territory. So one of the advantages or one of the merits is that the mainland China it's going to be able to get access or path, or pass to exert the huge influence of the mainland China to other countries through the Pacific Ocean. There is such a merit anyway. That is just an example, or that is just an instance. And so another merit is that so Taiwan has the largest market of semiconductors, or the chips. Taiwan has the largest market of chips, which are used for electronics all over the world. So thinking about which the mainland China can get such huge market of chips, or the huge market of semiconductors by the conquest of Taiwan, or the conquest on Taiwan done by the mainland China. So this is another merit, and of course there is an assortment of merits and demerits. The mainland China may be able to get by the conquest of Taiwan. But actually, in this episode, what I'd like you to know is that it's the president who wants to accomplish such a conquest during the tenure or during the time of the tenure of Mr. Xi Jinping, which is what I'd like you to know this time, and which is why. So that is the reason why a war or wars are going to happen in 10 some years in East Asia, or so focusing, or so exclusively or specifically speaking, or specifying that where in East Asia, which means where in East Asia, if you would like to know where in East Asia, so it's going to get such a war or wars. So the place is Taiwan, or the place is between the mainland China and Taiwan, where such a war or wars may be provoked, which is what I'd like you to know this time. So before actually telling you before actually telling you, so I'm sorry for my this time I couldn't speak. This time I wasn't speaking English well, so which is why. So if you'd like to know the title and the conclusion of this episode, so please take a look at the description column of this episode, so that you can find out the title and the conclusion, in which what I'd like you to understand are written. So the title is why is a war is going to happen in 10 some years in East Asia, and the conclusion is because President Xi would like to incorporate Taiwan into the mainland China during the period when he is the incumbent president. So which is why a war or wars are going to happen between Taiwan and the mainland China. Roughly saying, where such a war are going to happen. Such a war is, or such wars are going to happen is the East Asia. But actually, specifying or limiting the region of imminent wars to a narrower, or to a smaller regions. So or they are the territories, or it's a territory between the mainland China and Taiwan, which is what I'd like you to know this time. So if you live in Taiwan, or was it the neighborhood countries, or if you live in Taiwan, or if you live in other countries really close to Taiwan, so please be careful of your safeties. And that's it. Thank you very much for your listening. See you. By the way, this is not a complete mistake, but actually, so in English part, or almost all parts of this episode are not contain, but account for English part, or the English parts. But actually, when I was speaking Chinese, so I pronounced 中华民族的社会, which means the society of Chinese people, or the society of ethnically Chinese people. But actually, in English language, I introduced that concept, or that meaning in not the concept, that concept, or that I introduced in English language that concept, or that meaning in the words the Chinese culture. But actually, 社会 means society. But actually, in Chinese language, culture is 文化. So thinking that, which so of course, they are sometimes they are interchangeable. Those two words between society and culture are interchangeable. But actually, there's a slight moderate mistake, or that I don't think that is a complete mistake. I don't think that is a complete or the perfect mistake. Or, but actually, so when I spoke Chinese language, if you have some knowledge of Chinese language, I thought you have got confused, because I changed the translation into culture, not wenhua. So please make sure this one. And so I remember that I forgot to tell you the information on the time of recording of this episode. So which means this episode was created, well, this episode was created on August in 2022. So which means what I'm telling you is that I thought to tell you the reason of 10 some years. So I told you what I explained. The reason in the aspect of the culture in the mainland China or Chinese people as a whole. But actually, which means I didn't tell you the reason in the aspect or in terms of time. So which means anyway, the time of recording of this episode is August in 2022, and let me tell you the age of Mr. Xi Jinping. The age of Xi Jinping is, or his age is the age of the President Xi is 69. So which means Mr. Xi is at the age of 69, or he is 69 years old. And another piece of information necessary for the reason of 10 some years is the average life expectancy in China, and the average life expectancy in China is, wait a moment please. So this is the case of the life expectancy of male. That is 75 years. So maybe you may be able to find out another data showing different numbers, different age of the average life expectancy in the mainland China. But actually, not thinking about, so taking a look at, maybe taking a look at some online information, you can get similar number or similar age close to 75. And so thinking, and so considering the fact that most people live up to, or most people live on exceeding the age of 80 years, and so it's possible to expect that Mr. Xi Jinping it's going to live on after the age of 80s, which means he's expected to live longer than 80 years of life expectancy, because he's on a socially higher position than average Chinese people are on. Anyway, so thinking about which it's possible to expect that he lives longer than 80 years. So thinking about which, and his current age or his present age is 69. So thinking about which, and thinking about the age of retirement in the case of Mr. Xi Jinping. So it can be possible to it can be possible that what is possible is that he provokes a war or wars against Taiwan. So in less than 10 years, or in 10 some years, which is another information which is the information related to the time of this recording, which is also what I like you to know.